Welcome to the Millcreek Government Channel. I am Judy Zelina, and the Boys and Girls Club of Erie is a nonprofit guidance and youth development agency right here in Erie County. They have a lot of great programs. They have really helped so many of our youth. And here today to talk about the Boys and Girls Club and to let us know what they have going on there is John Popoff. And John, you're the Director of Operations.
That's right.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We have done a program, but it was quite a few years ago, and I just thought it was time to let the viewers know what's going on now, and let's update everything.
Yeah, as everybody knows, the Boys and Girls Club, we are probably one of the oldest youth agencies in town. We've been in town since 1895, and it started out as a one-room facility on Sassafras. Mary Selden, she started it. It was started by women. She started it with a group of women. She saw that the newspaper carriers didn't have anything to do after they got done with their routes, so she opened this room. And the boys, after they got done with their routes, they'd come up and play games, read books. And then they sort of turned it over to their husbands, and they went to the United Way, which back then was a community chest. And they started a capital campaign to build the Boys Club back then.
So really, that's how it got started.
That's the start of the Boys and Girls Club, yeah.
I remember the community chat.
Yeah, that's what they went, they saw that the women took it as far as they can do it, and then they turned it over to their husbands.
Now, you guys, you have a lot of core principles that you work on with the kids that come and participate in these activities.
Yeah, the core principles of the club. The main thing at a Boys and Girls Club is that the guidance that we offer children and the relationship building. Because most of the kids, a high number of the kids, probably 100% of our kids that come to the Boys and Girls Club come from single-parent families. Maybe they might only have one caregiver in a family with a numerous amount of siblings. So there is really no connection to an adult. So one of the things we like to preach at the club, and what we tell the staff in trainings and things like that, is that you're here. They build a relationship with a kid, and that's what they do. It starts out maybe informal, but they learn. The kids will come there, and they know the staff members that they like to be around, but that's the most important thing of the Boys and Girls Club.
Now, for any of the children to come to the club, do they have to be referred, or is it something they can just drive by and mom or dad say, let's check into this, and they just join? Is that how it works?
Yeah, there's no guidelines or regulations for a kid to become a member. Most of them come from the inner city, but we're open to anybody. But I don't know, probably historically in our town, in our community, everybody's known the Boys and Girls Club as an inner city youth agency, which, a lot of the kids do come there, they are at risk. But yeah, anybody can join. It doesn't matter, religion or race, nothing of that kind of thing, or economic status plays a part of it. So they come and fill out a membership, and then during the school year, there's a $10 fee to become a member of the Boys and Girls Club. But if a child can't, make that $10, we never turn any kid away.
I think that's really important. Really important.
We never turn a kid away.
Now, John, how long have you been with the Boys and Girls Club?
I've been with the Boys and Girls Club 22 years.
As the Director of Operations?
No, I started out as the gym person. I started out running the gym. I worked in some juvenile facilities, and then I got hired there as the athletic director back then.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah. Al Messina is the executive director, and he had a few jobs open, and I applied for the athletic director job back then. And it was to run the gym. I ran the gym. We had leagues in the gym, basketball leagues, and various other kind of sports and fitness. And then I taught swim lessons, and we had a pool. And I always thought it was just going to be maybe a stopover, and I won't, this wouldn't be my career. But 22 years later, I look back and say, I never left. But then again, I went to the boys' club as a kid, so.
I find that interesting, that you went there as a kid.
Yeah, when I was a kid, when I was a kid, I went to, I don't know if anybody would remember Jones School. It's on 7th and Holland. Now it's a law firm. I went to elementary school there. And back then at the Boys Club, you would go to, after school, you would get to go to the club, but the club would close at 5:30 because then everybody would have to go home and eat dinner. But it's not like that anymore. The kids that come to the Boys and Girls Club now, when they get there, we feed them. So yeah, I've had a long-standing relationship with the Boys and Girls Club, but it's been like that in our club a lot. Al Messina was a boys club member. We have staff members now that are on staff that went to the club as a kid that I remember as kids that came back to work there.
Really?
Yeah, we have a few that they were young and they were club kids and they ended up going to college. They did overcome obstacles, and that does show you that the Boys and Girls Club will affect a kid, and we can't impact kids, and they've come back to work there.
Well, I think what's interesting, and I think it's fantastic, that you've provided a safe environment for many of these kids for after school.
Yeah, most of the other thing we preach there is that the environment is safe and predictable. A lot of the members that we have, they might not come from an environment like that. There could be, there could be something going on in their family life that, makes them unsure of what can happen to them. But they know when they come to the Boys and Girls Club at 3 o'clock that the club will be open, the staff will be there, and it'll be consistent.
I didn't know that you fed the meals. So not everybody takes advantage of that, do they?
Mostly Monday through all through the weekdays, we have a dinner program, and it's free of charge. So a lot of times over 100 kids will come and eat dinner.
Really? Oh my gosh.
There's some kids, maybe they might not come to the Boys and Girls Club just to get involved in activities. They might come there to eat. I remember years back when I would walk through the hallways and kids would come up to me and say, "What time is my swimming?" or "What time do I get to play in the gym?" And now a lot of times you hear, "What time is it going to be when it's time to eat?" Really? Yeah. So the unemployment's not great in Erie, and a lot of these kids, they need it. So, and we feel that it's a service that's really needed.
Mm-hmm. I know you have a lot of diverse programs. What are some of the different programs that the kids are able to participate in?
Well, we have there's core areas at the Boys and Girls. So for example, there's the arts. So the art instructor there might be a clay program going on. There might be watercolor painting. There all different media in art. Maybe there might be arts and crafts. And then in health and fitness, there could be basketball leagues. There could be on-the-spot kind of activities, kickball leagues. It's really varied. We usually go by the seasons, but we vary it a lot so the kids have a real breadth of programming. Social recreation, we have a big game room, so there could be a foosball tournament going on. We have cup stacking. That's a big program at the Boys and Girls Club where kids actually stack cups. They've been to tournaments in Baltimore and doing that. They really enjoy doing that. It started out in California, Boys and Girls Clubs, and then it just got big at our club. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of breadth to our programming. We're not just where you could come in and say, okay, a kid could come in and just do art and they have to leave. The other big thing about the club, which helps, is that a lot of these kids, if they're an artist, they might not have the resource to do art. Their family might not have the means to send them to have art classes, but they can come to the Boys and Girls Club, and if they want to do art for 6 hours, they can do art for 6 hours.
Now you also have, I notice, life skills. What do you do in life skills?
We teach a lot of times we'll do things that really matter for children, even like for the teens. We might work on their resume, teach them about how to, the way to start a resume, build a resume, college, if they need help applying to go to college. It really varies the different kind of things we do help the kids with.
Now, is this just during the weekdays that the center's open?
Yeah, the club's open during the weekdays, and then on the weekends we usually do a lot of special events. If there's a special event, it would happen on a weekend where the kids would come then. But
give me an example of a special event.
we would take them. Maybe we would take them to a Bayhawks game. We would have maybe an event in the club. Maybe we'd have a basketball game just in the club itself, or different holiday events that we would have in the club.
I noticed on your website, which again is a very good website, a lot of information, different ways to contact you guys, keep up on any news items, anything that's happening, and events. But there was something called Project Intercept. What exactly is that?
That's a program that we started back in 1995, and it's we work with the Erie County Office of Children and Youth. And what happens is there's a lot of kids out there that parents might have some problem with it. They're not ready to. They haven't broken the law, and they haven't ran away from home, so they can't be adjudicated to be a juvenile delinquent, or they can't be put into the child welfare system. So what we do, they get referred to the Boys and Girls Club. They might be referred by counselors at school. They could be referred by caseworkers at the Erie County Office of Children and Youth. And what we do is we connect them with a worker, a counselor. That counselor is still a staff member of the Boys and Girls Club. And they work on some of their problems. Some of it they might not go to school every day. So the counselor will make sure they go to school. They'll call the school, help them through truancy. They might be truant. There might be some problems at home that they'll work with them. But the main thing is that they come to the Boys and Girls Club 3 or 4 days a week. And they're still getting counseling sessions, but it's a little more effective where they're not sitting down with a counselor once a week and having a session, and then they go and they might not see that counselor again until the next week. In this program, they see their worker every day.
Okay.
So they do come to the Boys and Girls Club on a regular basis, and they interact with the other kids and get involved in the activities that are happening at the club. But there isn't any stigma on them that say, well, you're in Project Intercept. They're still recognized as being a club member.
Just being a club member,
right.
And okay. And this is really for kids that might be teetering towards...
Yeah, there might be defiant.
Maybe getting in some trouble.
They could end up getting adjudicated into the juvenile justice system. So the program does help, and like I said, we've been connected with the Erie County Office of Children and Youth for a long time, and there has been results. We've had results in a program.
And what are the goals and outcomes of this program?
The goals and outcomes are centered around their academics, so make sure that they're back on track to going to school every day, getting their homework done, getting a passing grade, raise their grade point average, and then being able to interact on a positive interactions with a parent or a guardian, and trying to show them that there's other ways than negative kind of behaviors. Because
sometimes that's really all they know at that point.
Yeah, a lot of the kids that do come to the Boys and Girls Club, they've been around a negative kind of way of life for a long time. So at first it's hard to change it, but when they come to the Boys and Girls Club, they know that it's going to be safe there, and the environment's consistent there, and they know nobody's out to get them, that they're there to help them. So and a lot of the kids will buy into that.
And I think if they're there every day, like you said, there's a big difference from going to see a counselor once a week, every Thursday, because from Friday till that next Thursday, those problems are still awakening in their minds, still staying active.
Right.
Whereas
when they come to the Boys and Girls Club, a lot of times now people talk about impact and what programs really do for kids. Is this program really going to impact this kid? Is this program going to help this kid? We could say we do help kids at the Boys and Girls Club because a high percentage of the kids come there 3 days a week. And if they're coming there 3 days a week for a year, we're going to impact their lives, and something's going to change in their lives. And I think that's the most important thing about the club. We're there every day in the field with the kids. We see them all the time. It's not that we go out and visit them. They have a place to come. The big advantage is that we're facility based. So, and it's only for the kids. It isn't, we don't have any adult programming. It's all centered around the kids.
And I think it's testimony to the club that these kids they want to come back.
Oh, they do want to come to
They
the Boys
want
and
to
Girls.
come
Yeah.
back.
But a lot of that, it wouldn't happen if they didn't build that relationship or that attachment with a staff member. If that didn't happen, they probably wouldn't come. But because they're able to do that, they know that they're safe there.
Now, the staff members, are they, what type of training have they had?
Almost a high percentage of, almost all of our staff went to college. They have degrees maybe in psychology, education, sociology, those fields. So they do have some understanding about youth development. And we do in-house kind of training that centers around youth development principles and different kind of educational kind of tactics that we use within the club.
Do you have volunteers?
Yes, we do. That we have a lot of. There'll be some people that want to volunteer. They'll call the club, and we have a screening process. We get a lot of volunteers from the colleges, Mercyhurst University, students that want to get into the field of education or maybe psychology. They want to see, work in a club and get a feel for what it's like, and that really helps us out too on a staffing basis.
And how large is your staff?
We have 9 full-time people, and then we have probably 4 or 5 part-time people.
Okay. And what are, you mentioned the Bayhawks game, what are some of the activities that you would take them off of the premises to go to?
We've taken...
I'm just letting our viewers know all the fun things that you guys do too.
We've taken kids to the Bayhawks. We have a connection with the Bayhawks. The Bayhawks actually came to the Boys and Girls Club.
Did they really?
They ran a camp,
Okay.
the players and the coaches. Owen McCormick is the chairman of our board, and he's a part owner of the Bayhawks.
All
so
right.
we have pretty easy access to the Bayhawks. The Erie Seawolves will take kids to Seawolves games. We take kids to Presque Isle in the summer, and you'd be surprised when you ask some of the kids where Presque Isle is. They think they're going out of town. Some of them never been to Presque Isle. There's so many things in Erie that we show them that they've never been able to experience, but we want to make sure they get that experience. We take them to the Pittsburgh Museum of Natural Art and History. We've taken them to Cleveland Zoo, the rainforest. We've had, with the DCNR group at Presque Isle, we've had wilderness classes on the beach. The kids got to go camping overnight on the beach, kayaking, things that we try different things that we know that otherwise they wouldn't be able to experience. But we want them to make sure that they get that experience.
I wanted to ask, you said when they first come in, there is an application. Now, from this application, do you kind of determine who the staff member is going to be that's going to work with this child, or if they're going to be into the Intercept program? Is this kind of how you put feelers out through this application?
No, mostly when they come in, and we don't want it to be so structured like schools. So what they do when they do come in to the Boys and Girls Club and fill out an application, they get an orientation and a tour of the club, and we go through the rules with them. But then they could see everything's scheduled by ages. So if they're like 9 or 10 years old, at a certain time of the day, they can go into the game room, but they would be playing games or getting involved in tournaments with kids their age. Okay. So it's mostly all defined by ages, and swimming is the same way. If they swim by ages, they play, go in a gym by ages. So, and that usually and then they'll see staffs. One a member might connect to a staff more than another one, but that other one might connect to a different staff member. So.
Okay. What is the age?
We
groups?
service, well, we have a preschool too, so really we serve kids from age 4 to 18. You have a preschool on the premise? Really? Now, the grade school students, can they come before school, or is there just an after-school program? Just after school. Usually we open our doors at 3 o'clock, and that's when they start coming. All right. And what about, and like I said, you don't have weekend hours? No. No weekend hours at this point.
And you are over on East Lake Road?
Yes, 1515 East Lake Road. It's across from the old International paper.
You said you see mostly the inner city kids from your area, but you do see kids from other areas too.
Yeah, we've had kids come from the west side of town a lot. Some kids from the Iroquois area. So we do service a lot of kids. Probably about a 2-mile radius is where a lot of the kids from the Boys and Girls Club come from. They do. We saw that a lot of them. We are on a bus route, and plus there's 4 schools around us. There's the Wiley Charter School, Edison, Wayne, Maritime Charter School, and East High. So a lot of kids right after school, they'll come to the club. But there's still a lot of kids that carpool in the neighborhood. We noticed that a car could pull up with more than one child in the car. So.
Mm-hmm. Now, is this your only location on East Lake Road?
Yes, the main unit's our only location.
Okay, and you have a pool there?
Yes, we have a pool.
You have everything.
Yeah, we're probably only 10% in the northeast part of the country of Boys and Girls Clubs that have a pool still.
Really?
Yeah, and the pools, that's one of the biggest draws at the club. It's one of the biggest programmed areas. Even winter, summer, it doesn't matter. The kids really enjoy swimming. They get swim lessons there too. So, And it's important because we live by a body of water.
Tell me some of the success stories. I know you've got so many success stories coming out of the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, there has been over the years. For example, we have a few staff members right now on staff that were members of the club when I was working in the club, right with the kids, and they did have problems. They were able to overcome obstacles. They went to college. They probably thought maybe they couldn't go to college, but they were able to do that. And they always knew, though, if they needed something, that the club was always there for them. And a lot of kids know that if they do get in trouble or if something does happen, they know that they can, if they call the club, they'll get help. And they ended up giving back, and they work now at the Boys and Girls Club. We've had a few kids that became Pennsylvania Youth of the Year through the Boys and Girls Club. So there has been a lot of kids that have succeeded. But then again, those are the kids that come on a regular basis, and the club had impact on them.
And most of your staff members have been with you for a long time also, haven't they?
Yeah, a high majority of the staff have been there a long time.
So once they get on board, they're hooked.
Yeah, they really they enjoy
you.
it. Yeah, like I said, I never thought it would happen. Didn't plan on it, but it ended up. And I enjoy working there. I like being around. A lot of time the inner city kids do get people look at them different, maybe say that this kid, they have a chip on their shoulder or they don't.
Right.
But a lot of them do. If you think about it, they don't have it. They might have a chip on their shoulder because they could be hungry. So when they come to the Boys and Girls Club, they know that they can get a meal. Some of them might, their home life might be not that great, but when they come to the club, they know that it's, like I said, it's consistent and safe there. So, and they do have a lot they have talent, but they need a resource, and they need somewhere where they can develop that talent. Whether it's academic, whether it's athletic, whether it's art, but they know at the club they're able to do that. So that's going to make them a successful. They'll solve our mission. We'll complete our mission because they will become productive in our society.
I think what is absolutely wonderful about this, John, is the fact that it's an affordable option for these children that are coming to you from situations none of us can probably even imagine, probably.
No, it is true. Yeah, a lot of them. In
some of their situations. It's affordable, and like you said, I think it's wonderful that some have in a situation they can't afford the $10.
No, they
but
can't.
You will not
we
turn
won't
them
turn
away.
No.
You guys really do a phenomenal job. You really do. Are there any other programs that we didn't touch on that you wanted to? We're sort of getting to the end of the show, but is there anything that you wanted to let the viewers know that you're doing right now?
Basically, that's what, it's like we do impact kids, and I think the difference between us again is that they come every day. It's a place for them to come. So they have a caring adult, professionally trained staff that are going to help them. So it isn't. There's more going. There's learning going on there. It could be people could walk in and look at it and say it's chaotic. And at some time it can be chaotic, but a lot of time it's controlled chaos, but there's things going on there. In a game room, for example, they're learning how to socialize in a positive way. So there's a lot of different things that go on in a Boys and Girls Club every day.
I think you guys do a phenomenal job. That's why I wanted to get you back on the program, because it's been a while, and I want our viewers to know exactly what you have to offer in our area. Again, John, thank you so much. If our viewers have any questions, want to get in contact with you, maybe think that their son, daughter, nephew, niece, a cousin would be interested in your programs at the club, how can they get a hold of you?
They could either come down to the Boys and Girls Club on 1515 East Lake Road. They can call. Our number is area code 814-459-1977, or they can email me directly.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. It's been a pleasure. Viewers, I just wanted you to know, some of the organizations that we have here, right here in Erie County, you may not be aware of, and they do a wonderful job. John, thank you again.
Well, thanks for having me.
Okay, viewers, if you have any questions, give them a call. Until next time, have a wonderful day.
You're watching the Millcreek Government Channel, powered by WQLN Public Media.